President Trump is escalating his attacks on Harvard University. Just days after a federal judge temporarily halted his administration's ban on Harvard enrolling international students, the president is now demanding, quote, names and countries of the thousands of international.
On CNN tonight, Anderson Cooper dives into the escalating battle between President Trump and Harvard University over foreign students. Tensions are rising as Trump demands names and countries of international students. What does this mean for the future of education? Let's break this down.
Students at the Ivy League school. Trump suggesting that foreign countries, some of which he says are hostile to the U.S., should contribute funding to educate their students.
This is a clear attempt to shift blame. Trump is leveraging the presence of international students to whip up his base, painting them as threats rather than contributors. By framing funding as an obligation, he distracts from the real issues facing our education system.
For more on this escalating feud, let's go to Julia Benbrook near Trump's New Jersey estate where he's spending the weekend. Julia, tell us more about the president's sentiment here.
Well, there is escalation in President Donald Trump's ongoing battle with Harvard University. Just a couple of days ago, he was working to ban international students from attending Harvard, a move that was swiftly halted by a federal judge. And then overnight, we're hearing from Trump again as he demands more information about the international students who attend, writing this, quote, "We want to know who these foreign students are, a reasonable request since we give Harvard billions of dollars." And he went on to claim that Harvard isn't exactly forthcoming. Now, about 27% of Harvard's student body is of students from overseas, and they do release some of that information. Starting in 2024, they do have a list of which countries those students are attending from. It's important to note that according to Harvard's website in the student aid section, it makes very clear that foreign students are not eligible for federal funding and can instead apply for scholarships and things like that through the college itself. Our team has spoken with multiple international students at Harvard who describe the feeling right now as one of uncertainty and even pure panic as Trump works to ban their enrollment. The university also responding, calling this move a clear retaliation for its refusal to meet some of the government's demands on certain policies.
This is a classic power play. Harvard's refusal to comply with Trump's demands is met with retaliation. This isn't just about students. It's a broader attack on institutions that dare to stand up against the administration. It exemplifies how political power can manipulate educational environments for personal gain.
There on campus. And this is just the latest in a long back and forth. We're going to pull up some of those important moments and exchanges that happened over just the last several weeks now. The administration cut $450 million in federal grants, froze more than $2 billion in research funding, moved to ban international students, what we're talking about today, threatened to end the university's tax-exempt status, and is using the Department of Justice to investigate diversity initiatives. So again, a lot of uncertainty for these international students at Harvard, but also uncertainty for the faculty, staff, and other students as well. Fred.
All right, Julia Benbrook, thanks so much. All right, with me now to talk more about these developments is Cornell William Brooks. He is the former president and CEO of the NAACP and is currently a professor at Harvard's Kennedy School. Professor, great to see you.
It's good to see you, as always.
So what do you think is at the heart of President Trump's obsession here?
That is a great word to describe it. It is an obsession because what we have seen over many weeks, many months, is an ever-shifting exercise in arguments and excuses for going after Harvard for no serious legal basis. Meaning we have a federal judge who's issued a temporary restraining order against this ban against nearly 6,000, nearly 7,000 international students, 1 out of every 4 at Harvard, 6 out of every 10 at the Kennedy School where I teach. And what we have seen is over and over again, the Trump administration using its lawyers to go after Harvard's fiscal its budget by literally taking away almost $3 billion after they admitted that they made a mistake. I mean, that's absolutely
And that's just
surreal.
that's just in the research kind of funding, the 2 to 3
That's
billion.
that's right.
So,
That's right.
So
That's right.
this threat is invoking fear. I mean, students, especially international ones, are terrified. Do I go home for the summer? Will I get back into the U.S.? Will I get to finish at Harvard? I mean, these are legit questions. So what are your concerns for these students, especially as you mentioned, 6 out of 10 of the students there at the Kennedy School are international students?
Well, I'm very concerned. So I have students who would like to go visit their parents right before graduation and come back with them, who are afraid that if they leave the country, they may not be able to get in. We have students who are afraid that they won't be able to continue their studies or start their studies or even graduate. This is absolutely terrifying. And let us be clear here. This ban that the Trump administration is attempting to impose is a ban on students from Switzerland to Sweden, from Palestine to Israel, from Kenya to France, and it is a ban that hurts all kinds of students studying all kinds of subjects that serve the world. At the Kennedy School, we have students who are from India, who are studying development. We have students from Nigeria who are studying ways to improve healthcare. The point being here is the Trump administration is engaging in a trauma war, a psychological war against students in an effort to punish a global university.
This is strategic manipulation at its finest. Trump's obsession with Harvard is a tactic to galvanize his supporters by creating an enemy out of an educational institution. It's a dangerous precedent that undermines the integrity of our universities and the value of global education.
Largely as a result of the president literally using Harvard as a toy, as a political prop, if you will, to agitate and excite his base to the detriment of the country's well-being and the good of the country. Think about this, Frederica. At Harvard, we have hospitals who care for sick, dying, and patients who are in need of health care. We have students who literally create the means by which we solve serious problems. And all of that is being threatened by a president who's having a temper tantrum at the expense of the country.
And right now, Harvard's president is standing firm that the campus will not bend to the White House on a variety of policy changes. Will Harvard be able to continue to dig in its heels and combat this White House?
I think we have to, because first of all, what the president and the administration is asking Harvard to do is to violate the Constitution. There is a First Amendment in the Constitution which guarantees all persons, not merely all citizens, freedom of expression. We cannot give in to that. We certainly cannot give in to lessening our mission, diminishing the quality of our work and the quality of our study and scholarship and research and practice so that we can essentially appease this president. So it's not so much a matter of Harvard digging in its heels, it's a matter of Harvard standing firm. And this president literally engaging in a temper tantrum to the detriment of the country. So we have no other choice.
Do you feel pretty certain that it's Harvard now and another university, private or public, next?
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. And all we need to do is listen to the president himself. The president has said that we're looking at other universities. And so the point being is we have to ask ourselves, if Harvard, with the resources it has, is trying this hard at this expense, what about community colleges? What about state universities? You know, I went to a state, a HBCU, a state college. I went to a private university and an Ivy League law school, and I went to Head Start. And we have this president literally going after all kinds of institutions of higher learning and secondary learning in this country. So the issue is, this is not a matter of Harvard. This is a matter of education. And when it comes to education, that means the well-being of most Americans, nearly all Americans.
As we've seen, the Trump administration's moves against Harvard reflect a systematic manipulation of fear and division. This isn't just about one university, it's about the future of education in America. What do you think? Are we witnessing an attack on our educational values? Let us know in the comments below.